now's the time when things are shifting. There's gonna be a new world order out there, and we gotta lead it.
True international depression.
You are fake news.
I am not suicidal.
We'll circle back with you directly. If I can circle back, I'll circle back with you.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Hello and welcome to episode 289 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I am Jeffrey.
And I'm Brian.
We're just two guys drinking some beers, talking about what's going on. We got Guapo with us again, and he actually managed to make it in before we got started today. He's usually too busy a man to make it in before we get hit going and recording.
I gotta keep the ladies entertained the last minute.
Yeah, which I think is hilarious because like the time you make it in before we hit record was the time you couldn't get the Google Doc open.
Oh man.
All right. Well, we got a couple things to talk about, but I think anyone who's paid attention to anything who has been living under a rock for the last week knows what we were talking about mostly today.
Yeah.
But we still got our topics to do, and we always start with follow-up, then a little bit of intro, then a little bit of local. So may as well dive right in, I guess. Okay, so this nut job that assassinated those folks in Minnesota, and I intentionally used this article, I believe it's from The Guardian. It says, MAGA madman Vance Boltler blames Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for his murderous rampage. The only thing I've seen anyone say to tie him to Trump is some guy who claims to be his roommate, even though this guy has a wife and kids and doesn't live with his Papa John's police pizza delivery guy.
Right.
The guy used to work for Tim Walz. He was appointed to a city position. No, I'm sorry, state if it was governor. And yeah, he wrote a letter to the FBI. He's like, Tim Walz told me to do it. And it's like, so this is the incoherent ramblings of a madman. But anytime, if this guy had said I did it for Trump, it would have been like, well, they already called him a MAGA madman when he's saying that I'm doing it for the other guys.
Yeah. But it doesn't fit the narrative. I'm surprised we learned this much about his manifesto, you know?
Well, what manifesto? Remember we talked about that last time, too. It's like it didn't have a table of contents. It wasn't a manifesto. Oh, Trump got the court went and gave Trump control of the National Guard in California. Like, no, you can't just tell them not to listen to the president of the United States when he nationalizes it.
Yeah.
So we kind of saw that coming, but it actually finally happened. Yeah. So the widow of that cop on January 6th who killed himself like 6 days later.
Right.
She was trying to sue the guy who was on video striking this police officer, saying it's your fault that he went home and killed himself. I'm like, if that's going to be the precedent,
that's going to be a problem
for all sorts of stuff. And there was actually a trial, wasn't even thrown out. But yeah, they were like, yeah, no, not guilty. But he did get convicted of striking police, you know what I mean? And all that kind of illegal stuff too.
Yeah.
And that guy we mentioned in Salt Lake City, Utah, at the No Kings protest that was shot, grazed with a bullet, and then someone else was killed by another bullet. He's been released from prison because saying, why did you arrest the guy who was shot and charge him for murder instead of the guy who actually pulled the trigger? But, lucky for us, they didn't bother getting these dudes' names who actually pulled the trigger. And the entire No Kings movement was defending this guy because they assumed that this other guy was some right-wing extremist.
No.
Because he was carrying a rifle. And it's like, you were carrying handguns. It's like, Ed looked it up. I looked up to make sure. Salt Lake City, Utah, it is completely legal to open carry a loaded or unloaded firearm. So this guy broke no laws. So then that's why the cops let him out. But unfortunately, we're probably never going to know who actually fired into a crowd.
Right.
Because once again, it didn't fit the narrative, Brian.
Dude, like it's funny how like I went to the protest for the my last governor here, Virginia, Norton, and everybody had a firearm and nobody got shot. And there's
Yeah, well,
no kings movement. Like only a few were carrying firearms, and somebody got killed and another got injured. You know.
yeah. And not to mention how many people have never seen any form of violence in their entire life are going to be claiming PTSD from this incident.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, man, if you've never had anything difficult in your entire life, anything difficult at all seems the worst ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a real problem we're seeing with a lot of the left now. They've been sheltered. A lot of these folks, not all of them, have been sheltered their entire lives in their nice, cushy Massachusetts town. You know what I mean?
Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of immigrants show up to Martha's Vineyard and they round them up like fucking cattle.
You're a little bit off brown over there. Like, yep, you guys.
Yeah. It's okay to have brown and black people at Martha's Vineyard, but you have to recognize them, like Oprah
Yeah.
or Obama. You
Oh
know?
yeah, like you not on TV? You gotta get out of here.
Yeah, these
Hold on,
guys
yeah.
showed
You're
up.
not cutting my grass or wiping my ass. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I don't know who you are, and you're speaking Spanish. Oh my God, get the cops out here.
Yeah.
No me gusta.
No.
All right, I thought it was kind of crazy that the Bus family, I've never heard of them, but they're selling a majority share of the Lakers to some guy named Mark Walter
Uh-huh.
at a $10 billion evaluation.
The Lakers,
Yeah, well, these sports
Los
teams, man, they
Angeles
bring in,
Lakers.
yeah, these sports teams
Ooh.
bring in a lot of money, man.
I know, but right now LA is fucking under fire. So like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. That's like
Yeah.
overpriced, honestly, right now. With
Yeah, but how
everything
much
going
are
on.
How much are they getting paid for, like, by ESPN to broadcast the games and everything too? You
I
know,
know, but probably they're gonna
No.
move soon because look at the Oakland's Raiders. Yeah,
Ah.
I love Las Vegas now.
Not the Raiders. That's football. You're thinking the
No. But
Athletics.
I'm
The
saying, yeah,
the Athletics are moving to Vegas. Vegas has
yeah,
actually just started breaking ground on their new baseball stadium.
yeah. But I'm saying, like, like you buying these teams and like, yes, I mean, unless you plan to move them, But other than that, right now, fucking California's like, yeah, it's not like
Yeah,
what it
well,
used to be like back in the 80s and 90s.
yeah, late '80s. I'm sorry, early '80s, late '70s when like Reagan was running the state.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it got get all the way to Arnold, which I think we had to talk about him later on.
well, we've definitely brought him up.
Oh, last
Screw
week.
your rights.
I know, fuck. I'm still upset about that shit. But he
Yeah.
kind of redeemed himself with the fucking like. You had to like, what was the thing that he said at the view? Oh my god! Like, I was
I don't know,
like,
probably
okay,
something about
Arnold.
knocking up his maid.
No. But I said like you have to follow the laws and stuff like
Yeah.
that. If you're immigrant,
Yeah.
behave.
That
and
was
stuff.
everywhere, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, but you know what? Okay, you know what? He's halfway there. One more thing he does right, he gonna redeem himself from the fucking screw your rights.
Well, as far as California goes, he's the closest thing you're gonna get to a Republican, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Lately anyway.
But he kind of shocked me the way like, okay, I was expecting that from you, Arnold.
Well, how much work did Arnold put in to get American citizenship? Like, why should someone get to jump in line in front of him?
I know, but
Hey, check this out. Oh,
he
God.
did it. I mean, he did it through a system that nobody fucking wanted and needed. Mr. Olympic, like who fucking needed that? Who wanted that? But you know what? He came through that fucking route. He got it, and he became a fucking movie stars.
Yeah.
He probably
Yeah, and a
could
lot of
afford the new Trump car or something like that.
Well, the Timberwolves and Lynx, the WNBA team attached to them, has now been sold or has been approved to be sold to, and the paperwork's in progress, to Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, the MLB. Yeah, right. Well, doesn't he already own a baseball team?
No.
Yeah, I think so. And this dude Mark Lore, I don't know who that is, but like A-Rod's worth a ton of money.
Yeah.
Good for him. And you know what?
Good to be A-Rod.
Yeah, it's good to be
He
A-Rod.
tapped out J-Lo ass for a while too.
Hey,
After and before Ben Stiller.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, sorry, Ben Affleck. Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was strange that two NBA teams are being sold at about the same time. That's you don't hear about sports franchises being transferred very often, you know.
No.
Uh, all right, so one of you guys shared this, and I read it. They're calling it jugging. It's this robbery technique where I guess these folks will hang out of a bank or an ATM and wait for you to be like shifty, like you're carrying a lot of cash on you, and they'll
Yeah.
follow you to like around the corner or to your car, and then draw a weapon on you and rob you.
God damn.
And all I could think was like, haven't people been doing this forever?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. Like that's not a new thing.
It was a slow news day when they came up with that article.
It must have been.
Dude, like honestly, years ago I was carrying like $1,000. Like this is like years ago. Carry $1,000 in my fucking pocket. That shit was like it was sweaty. I was like, why am I doing with this so much money? You know, like I'm used to carrying like probably top 100. You know,
I
and
mean, I've carried more, but it was because I was doing something in particular.
yeah,
You
so
know
do
what I mean?
I. So I was carrying from one bank to another one. It was I wanted to be direct. No, I don't want to wait like 3 days for fucking. It was something I forgot what it was. Like, why am I carrying this? Like so much money in my pocket. You know, it was just
Mhm.
burning. I mean, you know, it's just I was sweating. Like, and the worst thing about it, you get robbed. No, that's not what the
It's
worst.
gone.
It disappear. Like you drop it somewhere. Like what the fuck? This money.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh, I know you. I know what you mean, man. I get nervous carrying $100 in my pocket. I tell you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get robbed.
No,
Oh,
dude. Like one time at 7-Eleven over here, I came across with $100 and like old 20s. Like, and you know how the 7-Eleven when you check out, there's like candy shell right there.
yeah.
A
Oh, you
hundred
dropped
bucks.
100 in there.
Somebody dropped 100 there.
Oof.
I just say
That went
nothing. Like whoop. Like here
yeah,
we
right
go.
in your
Bye.
pocket.
I'm out of here. You know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's funny because when I used to work at the 7-Eleven in Newport News, Virginia, the crab fishermen used to come in at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Uh, and they'd pull out this wad of bills out of their pocket. It was like they'd have like $10,000 on them. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Oh,
And
dude.
but then they buy their coffee and their breakfast sandwich with $100 bill. I'm like, what do you want me to do with these hundreds? And how?
Yeah,
So,
like there's a barely you could break it. Like I cannot break this. Like oh,
well, that's
dude, I
what
just
I
had an
got to the.
incident.
I got to the point where I was keeping like $700 worth of 20s in the drawer. Now I'm like, now the store's gonna get robbed. I'm gonna
Right.
get fired for having all this
Yep.
cash in the drawer.
No, I was just I work part time in a parts store.
Yeah.
And this fucking lady's like, I want to buy some candy. Like, well, we don't sell candy. We're just famous for selling parts store.
Yeah,
Well,
like if you just want to break a bill, buy a spark plug
yeah,
gap
she's like,
gauge.
she's like, what will you do if I walk out with this candy? Like, oh, I'm not gonna change it, but I'm gonna describe you to the cop. You know, like this what happened and stuff. Oh, okay. Then she's like, well, can you break 100? Like for $5? Nope. I'm sorry, I'm not breaking that because I got customer coming in all the time and paying cash and they expect change. And like, I'm not breaking $100 for $5. You know. And I'm like, well, yeah, she got attitude. Like, okay, go ahead, complain. I don't care. You know.
Yeah.
This is not my primary job. And probably that's why they like me because it's my side gig. You know, get the fuck out of
Mhm.
here.
Yeah, it's like if I get fired from this part-time job I do to get a discount here,
Yeah.
I don't mind that
I don't
much.
mind. You know, and like, they're not gonna believe them. She look like it's a white lady crackhead. Like, get the fuck out of here, crackhead. You know,
Yeah, I need to break this 100 so I can buy more rocks.
no shit. Like, they're not gonna believe you. You know,
Well, anyway, Gavin Newsom has warned California that the water system is ill-prepared for the hotter, drier future coming. It's like, did you not learn anything from the fires?
no, he didn't, dude. Like, this is
The
what I
whole
think
country told him.
they need to move the fucking Olympics and the soccer. Or what was it coming up in the next couple of years?
World Cup and Olympics, I believe.
Yeah, fuck it to Florida, dude. Fuck him. Fuck
Oh,
him,
man.
dude.
But yeah, it's insane because like this is the same problem that happened, and everyone who was paying attention pointed it out. It's like you didn't fill your reservoirs; you were too
Mhm.
busy giving money to illegal immigrants and LGBTQIAARP groups, and not handling, And then all of a sudden, the millionaires and the billionaires' houses burned down. Everyone's all upset all of a sudden. So you didn't give a shit until it got to the fucking hills of Los Angeles, huh?
Yeah.
Well, and the way Newsom and California in general run. Two major companies that refined gasoline in California are
Mhm.
packing up and leaving.
Fuck it. Okay, good. You know what? They need to open one in Texas and another one in Maine. You know,
Maine is I don't trust Maine, honestly.
why?
Well, their governor is the one who was just booed off a
Oh,
stage
yeah,
for
yes,
trans
recently. So
schools
that means the fucking citizen, like, you know what? Let's not put this crack with crazy people back in.
Well, I'm thinking like Montana or somewhere else that's all about
I need something close to the water. Honestly, I do like that close to the water.
well, I don't know why.
Oh, I mean, okay, you know what? I'll give you this.
And Texas has two
Midwest.
coasts.
Oh no, it's only got one coast.
No, it's got the Gulf of America and
Yeah,
the Pacific Ocean.
go look it up.
I could have sworn that. Oh, no, you're right.
No, yeah,
No, it's only the Gulf of
Yep,
America.
you're right. I am picturing the
Yeah.
Yucatan Peninsula, and for whatever reason, putting it as part of Texas, and
Okay, you know what?
that
I
is
will give
stupid.
it.
You're
I'll give it to Washington State. Fuck it, you know. I like to separate shit. I don't want everything in one row for get bombing. The last couple
Well,
days.
I mean, even in you could put two in Texas, and the chances of them both getting hit with bombs is nuts. Texas is
Oh, like
enormous.
something. Fucking
Well-
Texas fucked up like a couple winters ago.
Yeah, but I mean Texas because they're
Like
drilling
diversity.
the
You know
oil
what?
themselves.
I like to diversify. You know.
North Dakota.
Yeah, I'll give it that. Yeah.
Let's put these places where they're already drilling for oil, so it's a short trip to get refined into gasoline.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is California is looking to at a possible $8 a gallon for gasoline.
They fucking voted this shit. Let
Over
them
this.
fucking learn. You
Well,
know,
that's what-
you know what? All this fucking protesting, like no king shit. If we give it fucking California to Mexico, which they belong to there to begin with, they will fucking move out of California to other states. Like no,
Hold
bitches.
on. You say to Mexico, right? And I hear that a lot.
No. I said they never belonged to Mexico, but they didn't. They belonged to Spain before.
Well, SoCal was part of Mexico technically
For a while,
for 27 years.
Yeah,
the United States had it for over 150.
We bought it.
Yes, and then took the rest of it in the Mexican-American War because that's how wars go, right?
No. War you to conquer. But United States, you know what? I fucking beat your ass. Here's some money. And they took it gladly. And all those fucking Mexicans became American citizens. So what the fuck?
Yeah, and it's funny because I almost shared an article about they got a president in Mexico, right?
Yeah, the fucking Jewish lady.
Yeah, La Presidenta.
Sheinbaum.
She was saying how that they're trying to negotiate back some of this money, well, these tens of billions of dollars taken from corruption in Mexico. And it's like, this is the kind of shit we've been pointing out that we keep being told never happened, you know? Guapo, you shared this recently.
Which one?
How hot is it today in Virginia?
So fucking hot the fucking lifted bridge cannot close. It's crazy. I just saw that shit. Like, what?
Yeah, the Chesapeake Fire Department had to bring in firefighting tugs to cool the bridge down because it swelled up and wouldn't close.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
I thought that was nuts. I was like, oh my God. The sun was big. Of course, it's across the water, so there's no trees for shade or anything. So it's baking in the sun all day, you know.
Expanded metal span. People keep forgetting that. And
Well,
that's why
creases and bridges.
That's why bridges sometimes they got a little gap and stuff, so like expansion and stuff.
Expansion and to allow for contraction in the winter. Yeah. So the road doesn't just crack apart.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, oh, damn, that is
I just saw it like a couple of minutes before we came into the show, like, holy shit, that's crazy. People keep forgetting about this shit, but it is what it is, you know.
No, it's funny because I just closed up my computer, like, all right, we're ready to hit record, I guess. And then my phone buzzed and it's like, you know, Guapo shared something. I was like, oh, bitch. And this other one here, I think I found this article. A Delta flight was having maintenance issues, I guess. From Florida to, I don't even remember where. I want to say Maine, maybe. Got diverted to Norfolk for emergency landing.
It was coming from JFK to Orlando.
Oh, okay. It was going to Orlando from New York. Okay.
And they thought they were leaking fuel, so they made an emergency landing.
Ooh. Yeah, it's
Not gonna
better.
be
Than,
safe. Sorry.
yeah, you definitely don't want to run out of gas over a populated community, right? Uh, well, FEMA has arrived in West Virginia after the flooding has occurred. We are up to 8 dead and 1 is still missing, which it could have been much worse, but they managed to get people out in general. Flash floods are a real issue in the mountains, as you can imagine, right? All of it coming down the hill at once.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, FEMA's going to do what it does. I'm hoping they actually help people instead of refusing to help them if they have a Trump sign on their yard. But with Trump in office, I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
And check out this next one, man. A woman was arrested for embezzling money from the local IGA. It's a grocery store.
Hmm.
29,000 over a couple months. This is the grocery store closest to me. This is the one I go to for like produce and stuff. I know this woman. She's there all the time, and her
Oh.
daughter is there all the time.
Mm.
I was like, damn. And man, if you're gonna be dummy and steal some money like that, because she was like ringing stuff up and voiding it out and putting the cash aside.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah. If you're gonna do shit like that, don't take $29,000 over a couple months. It's gonna be obvious to whoever's keeping the books. It's like, hey, where'd all of our inventory go?
Yeah.
And then you see the receipt roll that it says void, void, void on it.
Mm. That's why she's in jail, because she got caught. She didn't do the
Yeah.
math correctly. She didn't do. She
She
didn't know how to pace herself.
well, that's the thing is you're like, oh, why are these people, all these criminals, so dumb? Well, they're dumb
Oh,
because they can't
oh,
they can't get by without committing crimes.
oh! They get successful and they can never stop too.
Yeah, it's possible too.
No. Like some criminals, like you know what?
If
They
you get
just like
good
I
at
never.
it,
Yeah, they get good at it, and I'm never gonna get caught, and eventually they get caught.
As of the publishing of this article, which was on the 23rd, so yesterday, okay.
Mm-hmm.
She is still sitting in jail with a bond of $50,000.
Mm. No, it
So
is what it is.
yeah, I mean, and you know what? I bet she got fired too.
No shit.
And you know what's crazy though is like that whoever was the manager is probably looking at the numbers and everything, and it was like, okay, I guess I gotta call the cops. That sucks. There goes like my my 40-hour a week employee who was always here.
Yeah.
But uh,
Well.
do we really want to see the grocery prices going up here because of all the theft?
No. You don't want to.
Or lock it all behind doors like in California because of all the theft.
New York City does that too.
There you go. I'm sure you guys saw this stuff. Bill Maher talking about Whoopi. No.
Yeah.
About her fucking comparing fucking Iran to fucking being Black America in the United States.
Yes.
Nowhere fucking close. Nowhere fucking close.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Even as a woman, even as her, dude, she would not even make it 5 minutes over there.
Well, if she went over there and started talking trash about the government like she does here, she'd be arrested.
And worse.
Okay, if we had to pick up Whoopi Goldberg, like what would you like to be right now, Iran or United States? I bet you in a fucking heartbeat she would say United States.
I agree. But yeah, Bill Maher was like, we got to do something about the View. This is just making the Democrats look insane.
Good. Let her fucking look insane. I don't care. There's a new show with fucking Eric Caspera and other chicks, private Democrats too. They're
yes, I've seen them. They got what's her name there? The fitness woman.
Yeah. There's kind of good looking ladies. They talk about making sense, cool, let them talk, and it's like interesting, okay, cool. I don't
It's funny because I brought up Anna Kasparian several times on the show, and so have you. Brian
she don't
still
want
has
to
no
swallow.
idea.
She don't want to
Still has
swallow
no
the
idea who
red
she is.
pill.
Yes.
Anna, swallow it. I know.
Well, yeah, Brian still has no idea who she is, or Cenk Uygur.
Oh yeah.
Don't even care.
Cenk actually ran for president, which was hilarious because he wasn't born in the United States.
I know. She's like, he was using so fucking lame excuse. I'm like, okay, whatever.
His nephew is Hassan Piker. Have you heard that name?
Yeah, I know his son Parker. He's like fucking getting I
He's
don't
the
know.
kill the
He
Jews guy.
he kind of got quiet the last couple of days with that Ryan bombing and shit.
Yes. Well, he actually went to the protest, the quote protest in
They came
California.
protest.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting tear gassed," and it's like,
Like, what do you expect, dumb bitch?
"Oh, it's hey, at least he went there to see what was actually happening." I'm gonna give him a little bit of credit. I don't like 99% of what he says, but at least
99. What the fuck is the 1% you like about?
no, not even like it's just neutral. But at least not every single thing he does is Orange Man bad,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I don't know. But she said it's just as bad to be black in America as it is to be in Iran. I was like,
No,
you need to cover your face, your ankles, and your wrists as a woman in Iran. You're not allowed to leave the country without your father's or your husband's consent.
Yeah.
You can't go out in public alone. They are allowed to drive and vote, though. But that was stuff that happened in the 70s before the first Soleimani took control. Which, by the way, was our fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of with the Churchills involved in that too. Shit.
Yeah. Anyway, so Israel.
Anyways, yeah, Anna.
Israel. Is, oh yeah.
Sorry,
What about
I
Anna?
I was just thinking about her. Anyways, go ahead.
Israel has carried out some strikes in Tehran, and they sent out a bunch of warnings to include some of the generals over there, being like, "You have 12 hours to run away."
I would not give it 12 hours.
Well, hey, flee the country, and we won't blow you up. So
I would
Iran
give
went.
it like 3 hours, probably tops.
Iran went nuts blowing up, not Iran, Israel went nuts blowing up all their anti-aircraft equipment and radar equipment, and even hitting some sites that they knew that they were top military leaders there. And here's the thing is, everyone's been worried about Iran getting a nuclear bomb, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing that my entire adult life, and when I go and look at the numbers, it's been going on for 30 years. We've been saying this. Like, oh, they're only 2 weeks away. They're 2 months away, less than a year, for 30 years. But then there was this 5.1 magnitude earthquake that hit Iran, and a lot of people saying, was that a nuclear test? And shortly after this, Trump gave Iran a warning that you have up to 2 weeks to come back to the negotiating table. And this is when we were talking, Brian, last episode about how the Nimitz was on its way over there. We were sending B-2 bombers to Guam. It looked like we were really ramping up. And I honestly, first thing I thought was, this is what Trump does. It's a giant show of force.
Right.
You know? Yeah. And then Trump also came out and said, hey, Americans, get the hell out of Iran now. And then we struck 3 nuclear refining sites in Iran. One of these refineries was 300 feet underground. For anyone who's not an American or,
don't know how to repeat.
I'm trying to think of the other country that uses the imperial system, but anyway. That's about 90 meters in the side of a mountain. Now, I kept hearing that our bunker buster bombs can only do 200 feet, which is about 60 meters. Let's be real here, though. The 3 of us were in the service. We know as a fact that we underrepresent what our weapons are capable of.
Yeah.
Because we don't want them to know the true full power. Like, as a fact, you're not allowed to tell anyone how far the phased array on a Navy ship can see, right?
Yeah.
Or how fast an aircraft carrier can actually go. But either way, they clearly buried this thing deep in the side of a mountain to protect it from weaponry, and in particular, American bunker busters, also known as MOPS. What is it?
Mother of bombs.
No, that's Moab. MOP is Massive Ordnance Penetrator. It's a 30,000-pound bomb that falls up to 200 feet deep in the ground and then detonates. Yeah. So on this facility, we dropped 6. in succession to make sure we got down in there. Crazy, but also hit 2 other facilities. And I don't know, did you guys hear anything about some alleged missing uranium?
No.
No.
I heard there was something like 900 pounds of uranium unaccounted for at this point, and then they showed a convoy of trucks leaving the area right before this happened.
Oh yeah, I heard about that part. Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. That's some dirty bombs for Hamas, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, after this strike was carried out, the FBI immediately pivoted a bunch of their resources to counterterrorism and cybersecurity from immigration because of the fear of Iranian terror retaliation. Which is crazy because ICE just picked up 11 Iranian nationals in our nation. One was a Revolutionary Guard member, another was an army sniper, and another was a terror suspect. And they were all had something on their list of, their history.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, that was the first thing I thought was they already got sleeper cells here. Excuse me, I got a frog I cannot get rid of. We know they got sleeper cells, and if they didn't, then Iran really blew it when they had a chance to get all these people in this country undetected under Biden.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is. I know it's in here somewhere, but they're also saying that we didn't destroy was it Pharaoh or something like that? The big one, the one that's 300 feet underground.
Yeah.
I've seen.
Well, some people have come out and said they looked at the imagery and they don't think it was destroyed. And then other people came out and said, even Catherine Levitt, the press secretary, came out and was like, well, this is a highly classified document that somebody magically released to CNN. Who do you want to
He was
trust?
pissed. Yeah. I don't know. I guess exactly. I've seen conflicting reports. And I saw one said that we may have done more damage than we realized in terms of we might have released radiation into the environment over there from the uranium being turned into powder, basically, So I don't know. Either way, we either send them back a couple months or up to 2 years building a nuke if they really want to, because the technology doesn't disappear. It's just the equipment that might. So Al Green, he was the one that they tried to censure a while ago, and the Dems started singing instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the OC, original K-Man.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
the guy that says the islands are going to flip.
Yes, he's the one who said, "Can we assure that island's not going to flip over?" That's right.
Are you serious? That was him.
And just so everyone's clear, this is not the same Al Green who did "Let's Stay Together" back in the was it 70s?
Yeah.
Anyway, he filed articles of impeachment today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny because they're like, "Oh, it's over these strikes. You can't do that. You need Congress." And even Jasmine Crockett's like, "You need Congress to do this." And it's like, okay, what about Obama, Bush, Clinton, Bush? You know what I mean?
Exactly. They didn't matter then. War powers didn't matter then.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so check this out. 128 Democrats and all Republicans in Congress voted against impeachment. Because even the Democrats, like, it doesn't work. We just look like dumbasses with our dicks in our hands,
Yeah.
But yeah, AOC called for impeachment too. And Brian, you got Truth. Did you see what his response to her was on Truth Social?
I never go on there.
Oh, I thought you did. I was thinking about getting an account just to keep up with Trump.
It's a good place to do it. That's where he spends most of his time.
He blew her up or whatever. I called her dumb, and the only one dumber than her is Jasmine Crockett, which I got a good laugh out of. But then AOC comes back on X and says something about how he's almost broken every promise he made in 5 months. And she goes, "Why are you so upset with me? I'm just a silly girl." I'm like, there you go. You're a silly girl. Why don't you resign from Congress and go back to tending bar then?
Yeah.
She doesn't even have to go back to a bar. She's making enough money on her retirement as a senator.
No, she's a congresswoman.
But she's still got a huge retirement. You only have to serve one term, and you got a retirement
This
for
is
the rest of your
fucking
life.
bullshit. No, fuck this.
Yeah,
is
it's full
bullshit.
pay too, isn't it?
Something crazy like that, yeah.
And it's okay. It's not the money the president makes, but it's over $100,000.
Yeah.
If you can't figure out how to survive on $100,000, you need to adjust your lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to.
No, and she can't go back to tending bar anyway because she's not like 22 and
Good looking.
I mean, don't get me wrong. No, she's still a pretty woman. She really is. She's very attractive. I'll give her that.
You know what? I will put a ring on it. She give me 2 babies.
Well, but that's the thing is, she's not bartender at like one of the bars that used to be down in Norfolk hot. You know what I mean?
No, she probably Miami or Florida, L.A. bartender.
Which shoot, which one was it? Was it Bar Norfolk that had the
Yeah.
they had like 2 dwarfs on staff serving drinks.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think so.
Oh man, it was went there with
I
the
can
wife.
see Bar Norfolk. Yeah, I can see Bar Norfolk doing shit like that.
Yeah, those young women, very young women,
Yeah.
like they were like 18, just legal enough to serve booze. They wore almost nothing. They're standing up on this like little makeshift bar with like one of them old school steel bathtubs full
Hold
of
on,
ice
they
and
were
bottles of
dwarf
beer.
too?
What's that?
They were dwarf?
They had at least one dwarf that worked there serving drinks.
That's
They're like walking around like, what?
That's
Am
a
I
new
here?
kick nowadays, dude. Damn.
Yeah, it's and
Anyways, moving on.
I know we're not
Next
supposed to
topic.
make jokes, but I kept hearing
No, just
the Lollipop Guild song playing in my head from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh my god. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about something else. Oh my god.
Now, the argument that these Democrats were making for impeachment was that it takes Congress to declare war, and even Jasmine
No,
Crockett
he
said,
didn't
I
even
get to decide.
he didn't fucking put troops on the ground. He just fucking bitch slap Iran, like keep them in check, and that's it.
Well, here's the thing: is the War Powers Act of 1973 was proposed by a Democrat and voted upon to a point that Nixon wasn't even allowed to veto the law, which gives the president the authority to do this. And then after 48 hours, he has to go to Congress and ask for permission to continue more strikes.
All right, cool. Did this fucking Grenada? Who was that for Grenada? When
Vietnam?
No, Grenada. When United States invaded Grenada just to remove the fucking citizens.
I don't know who was in office. Was it Reagan?
I think it was Reagan. No, it was after. I think it was Bush, the senior. Anyways, but after that, it was fucking every other fucking president did such shit.
Yeah, it's crazy that. Well, here's the thing: it's the House Speaker Mike Johnson. He's saying that this thing is unconstitutional, and I kind of agree with him. But it's still the law in the books. And if you're going to impeach Trump over this, you need to go and impeach Obama, Bush, Clinton, Reagan, all the way back down the line.
1983 conflict Grenada involved the United States and Cuba led force.
83 was right after Reagan got in, right? Or right before?
Yeah, I don't know who it was then.
It would have been maybe Carter?
Probably.
No, Carter was after him, wasn't it?
I don't know when Reagan got elected. I forgot.
I want to say 82 or 84. That would have to be 84, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead, keep going.
It doesn't really matter. But dear God, we've been involved in plenty of conflicts.
Yeah, but that doesn't involve full fledged involvement. Like, they could have got Bush fucking involved us and fucking Obama keep going.
Yeah, Afghanistan, Kuwait.
Iraq.
These were all recent.
Yeah, so this is sad because this show the fucking Democrat Party don't know the fucking history.
And that's what's terrifying is this is the Congress.
Yeah,
these are the guys that are supposed to know this shit because they're right.
Oh, the fucking people that work below them, like, hey, look, you don't want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. They're relying on their staff to tell them.
Yeah, unless it's fucking like woke the staff, they don't.
And that's the problem is they're not hiring people who know what they're talking about. They're hiring people that make them feel good because no one's coming. Hey, you're gonna look like a fucking moron.
Yeah, stop
when this is thrown back at you.
You know what? These people need to realize they need to hire people. The memento mori. You know what is memento mori means?
Memorable moment, maybe.
No, remember you're immortal. Okay,
Oh, okay. Sorry, my
and
my Latin's a little rusty here. I'm
no,
sorry.
you almost got it. You almost got it. But what's the name of this fucking emperor? Emperor of God damn it,
Namamoto.
no, the one fuck, I can't remember. The last great emperor, Rome emperor.
Oh, jeez. I
The stuff came out with the fucking anyways, so he had a servant. Every time some conflict come out and stuff, like he used to whisper in his ear, like "Memento mori, remember you mortal, you up human being," you know. And no Augustus, fucking the what's the name of the emperor? Fucking Gladiator, the old man.
Spartacus.
No,
No, I was like,
Spartacus.
he wasn't an emperor.
No. The emperor. Anyways, but anyway, he just used to remind this person like, "Hey, look, you a mortal person. You cannot do a lot of things. You know, you have to go let them. You know, just fuck. I forgot his name.
Well, I just like to point out too that the reason why the president has the authority to do these things without
Hmm.
immediately going to Congress is because if you have a quote true democracy, while the city is burning, you're sitting there waiting for Congress to get together and come to a decision. And by the time they yell at each other and they're done all of that garbage, Atlanta's already gone, you
Hmm.
know? I mean, I can't think of the names of any of them, but there's been a couple oh god, what's the word? No, anarchist communities where everyone gets together and discusses what they're gonna do. And they
Hmm.
were all wiped out because by the time they got everyone together to talk about it, they'd all been murdered by the invading force. All right. Oh, here we go. A sheriff, the sheriff in Los Angeles, went online and expressed his condolences for the Iranian people over this attack.
Well,
Um,
he was in Los Angeles, so he'll probably get away with it.
No.
well, he already went and deleted this post. He's,
Why?
he's like,
Why?
what?
What is that? What does that tell you?
But see, this is the well, we'll get into the Democrats, but this is the thing that a lot of folks don't realize because CNN will show you like a protest or
Hmm.
even a riot with like 400 people or 1,000 people, and they'll tell you everyone feels this way. So these folks that don't pay a whole lot of attention to what's really going on, they're like, oh, well, this is what everyone does. I don't want to be on the wrong side of history here. That's what they always say, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Don't want to get stuck on the wrong side of history. And the thing is that the other 2 million people that live there weren't out there burning police cars. And that's what gets me when Newsom and all these other Democrats come out and say, oh, it was a small little area in Los Angeles, Hochul in particular, small little area where there's this unrest. It's like, yeah, you're right, because everyone else decided it wasn't a good idea to go do this shit because they don't agree with your crazy politics. Doesn't mean that we don't have to do something to stop the wackadoos that are lighting cars on fire and flipping them over, you know?
Hmm.
All right. Well, it
Mark,
looks like
Mark,
oh good.
Marcus Aurelius. That's the name of the
Oh,
emperor.
okay. All right. Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could have list I could only
yeah.
list off a handful of
No, you got.
emperors.
Yeah, you got. He's the one that had a servant telling him, "You remember your mortal. You cannot. It's the only thing he can. So much he can do, even though he's a fucking Roman emperor. There's so much shit he can do. You know."
Yeah,
And
especially after Constantine
yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like, you know what?
and
Like
Caesar.
you, well, even Caesar. Like, well, right now there's a
He was
lot of
stabbed to death by his own Senate.
yeah, but you know what? Right now, Caesar, he had such a fucking footprint throughout history. Right now, we use this fucking calendar, Julian calendar.
No, we
To sh-
don't.
yes, we well the
We use
Gregorian
we used the
calendar,
Gregorian calendar, and that was a
but
different emperor.
base of a fucking no, that's base of the fucking Pope Gregory 13. Look it up. But it kind of came based on the Egyptian calendar, which is like but the sun. The C section come from the Syrian section because
I
of
was
the
just going to bring
mythology.
up Caesarion for being torn open.
Yeah, that's why. Fucking. July coming next month is after name after Julius Caesar.
Orange
And
Julius.
the what?
Orange Julius.
What is that from?
You
What's
guys don't
that?
know what an Orange Julius is?
No.
Yeah, I do. You get a
Uh,
frozen drink place at the mall.
yeah, I think they all closed, didn't they?
Wasn't successful for 2,000 years, But there's a lot of things that Julius Caesar did, the like laws, the Greek laws, I mean the Roman laws and stuff like that, history and stuff like that. But anyways,
I would argue that Alexander the Great might have had a greater impact on the
history.
world.
Yes, because of the fucking spices.
Yes, which is what I keep
Because
bringing up when they keep saying white people don't know how to flavor their food. I'm like, the white
because
people killed millions of people to take their food
this
taste good.
yeah. Because if it wasn't for Alexander the Great, we wouldn't have Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, looking for
Because
spices.
you're looking for spices. That's
Well,
right.
yeah, he was looking for India, right?
Yep.
That's why he called them
Hindustan. They
Indians.
call no Hindustan. And the only reason he called Indians was it was something else in Spanish like in
Yes,
India.
it was India and Pakistan in one country.
Yeah, Hindustan. But the only reason people call it Indians because Indios damn, I keep forgetting that phrase, but it was nothing related to India. Just because
There you go. That's another myth I learned in school then, right?
yeah, and the only reason Caribbean is called the Caribbean, the Caribbean islands called the Caribbean islands because the area right there it was eating each other, carnivores.
Cannibals.
Carnivores.
Oh, carnivores. That just means you eat meat.
Each other.
Cannibalism is eating humans.
Cannibalism, yes, but that's why they call it Caribbeans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, bring this up before we get back on point. I'm going to be going on a cruise in July, like a pleasure cruise. Not this July, next July. Haiti is a port visit. That's on our don't go to this country list.
Sure, you're not going to the DR.
That's what I said. It's very possible they just go over to the Dominican Republic instead. Because I honestly don't want to get off the boat in Haiti.
Because the DR is on the same island.
Well, you don't
Yes,
want
it
to
is.
meet.
And it's totally different.
You don't want to meet. What's the name of the guy? The barbecue.
Barbecue.
Yo, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is I thought that's what made me think Haiti was the cannibalism, and that's what barbecue was doing, wasn't it?
No, he was eating. Yeah, it was some myth and shit like that.
Well, he was.
Yeah.
He wasn't eating full meals, but he was doing
No,
it
there
enough
was,
to
like,
show everyone.
probably the dominance and shit.
Wasn't Biden in charge of barbecue?
It was in his brain.
Oh, so that means he's probably in charge of the country now, then, huh? Which might be why we're on
No.
the no-go list.
Dude, even Salvadorian President Bukele, he was like telling the United States, like, "Hey, send me weapons, and I go fucking conquer that place." Well, like, I would be like, "Hell yeah, let's go down over there, conquer."
Why
area.
can't I remember that guy's name?
Bukele?
Yeah, I can
Because
never
he's
remember.
fucking. He's he's not Pakistani. He's fucking Palestinian.
Well, he ain't El Salvadorian.
No, he's of Palestinian background, and that's why.
That's fine. Their country allows that to happen, and that guy cleaned up El Salvador. Oh my!
Fuck yeah, dude! Everybody's fucking jealous of El Salvador right now.
They're saying it's the safest country in the world to go to. The lowest murder rate now.
Western Hemisphere, even safer than Canada.
Southwestern Hemisphere at that.
No, Western Hemisphere.
Well, I'm saying it's also the Southern Hemisphere. It's below the equator, right?
No, it's central. Above the equator. Where's the
equator
at? Ecuador. Where's Ecuador's at?
Yeah, I know you're right. That Ecuador would have been a good point of reference for equator, wouldn't it?
I don't know why. Okay, honestly, I don't know why we call it equator when you got Africa to begin with. To call it something Africa, I just don't know why.
Because it's equal on either side.
No, but equator doesn't. Probably that's why they call it Ecuador, because of the equator.
Yeah, it's right. It's near the equator.
But I say like
it was south of it.
No, but I say like the first thing I would reference something to Africa, the middle somewhere Africa. Anyways, keep going. Sorry.
All right.
I'm
Well,
busting
I
good.
personally was upset right away when I heard that we had bombed these sites. I was like, shit, we're gonna get drawn into this shit. Like
And
Trump
that's what
promised. Oh, God.
I fucking posted that memes. They're like, what do you mean? They're like, I like, ah, damn it. I like, I don't want to fucking start something with you.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like we don't want a war with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
You can make all the jokes you want about their weaponry sucks, yada yada, but you
Mm-hmm.
cannot occupy a street corner with an F-16.
No.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And that's when Biden's like, you need F-16s to fight the United States. It's like, yeah, you're gonna take over Boston with jets flying around bombing the city the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left to rule over once you salted the earth. But I was genuinely upset. I was like, oh fuck, it's gonna happen now. These guys are gonna. I immediately said we're gonna see a terror attack in the United States from some of these folks that they obviously slipped across the border under Biden because because they
Right.
had the chance, right?
Yeah. So
And
my
Sure
the
did.
Republicans are backing Trump on this one though.
big time too. So
But you had a handful of guys come out and say, I think this is a bad idea, like Tucker Carlson, who later apologized.
no, but I said like it's skeptical because they lie about Iraq, they lie about Libya, they lie about Syria, and they're
Well, Iraq,
like
Afghanistan.
Iraq, Afghanistan, and somehow Iran is special.
Whoa, hold
Yeah.
on. Iran was special the whole time
Yes, but
because that's why we did such work in Afghanistan and Iraq. I don't know if you looked at a map lately,
mm,
but those are the two countries that border Iran.
yeah. But you
So
know
we
what?
came
I'm
over on
sorry.
either side and was like, we'll fuck you up.
Well, somebody lied to me way too many times. You then just got kind of be skeptical about it. Like, I don't
And
know.
even if they did,
Then I got some fucking guy over there lie about what?
well, even if they get a nuclear bomb, what are they going to do with it? That's going to affect us besides the price of goods.
They're fucking. You know what? I had somebody said it out there. I forgot what news article I read it from. You know what? They're crazy, but they're not suicidal. You know.
Yes. Yeah,
And
they understand that if they, but even so, they don't have the technology to deploy a nuclear weapon in the United States,
but they,
short of bringing it across on a cargo ship, dropping a submarine in the water, and detonating it in like
they had
Boston Harbor.
this had a space fucking program too, so I don't know about that too. That's what
Well,
they
that
say.
was how
That's
they
what they
that
say. I don't know
that's
if
how
it's
they that's how they justified their ballistic missile program. Their rocket
yeah.
program was a space program, but they haven't even tried to go to the moon. They're not even launching satellites.
I don't know. I'm still skeptical about it, but we'll see how things turn out.
Yeah,
I
most
mean,
Republicans have come out on Trump's side, and
it will just get it like 76% compared to about it. Like, I mean, I do look. Don't get me wrong. I trust Trump. I just Trump don't trust the fucking intelligence agencies because they've been lying to us for a long time.
well, yeah, and when John Bolton and Lindsey Graham both said it was good that we had dropped bombs on Iran, I was like, oh shit,
Yeah,
it's like this ain't good. If Lindsey Graham likes it, something terrible happened, right?
yeah, he's fucking making money out of it.
Oh, he's the biggest rhino out there is, I think.
Fuck that guy, man.
And John Bolton, I want to hold that guy down and shave that stupid, ugly mustache
Mustache.
off his face.
You should not even keep it trimmed. Like, how
Yeah,
how the fuck you eat with that shit, dude? Like, oh,
yeah. I mean,
I
didn't
do.
have
Like, look at
particularly-
me, dude. Like, it's not bad, and I still get like, oh my god, like I had
Yeah,
a date
well,
the other day.
when
Like, fuck, like
Mhm.
shit's getting in the way, you know.
Well, before I eat, I'll take a comb through the stash and pull it up off my lip so I don't get food on it because I the I don't want an actual soup strainer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But did you see Medvedev, the former president of Russia? It says Russia claims, but it wasn't. It was Medvedev. Medvedev. He was the guy before Putin.
Mm.
He's
Yeah.
saying that there are plenty of nations in line that are going to hand Iran nuclear weapons.
Who?
And it's like, that would be a bad decision, dude.
Pakistan.
What, Pakistan? Are you kidding me?
No,
Iran
what's
would nuke Pakistan.
no? What the fuck is that? What next to India? Fuck, I cannot think of it.
Pakistan.
Is it Pakistan?
Yeah, they used to be one country.
Anyways,
And then the UK split them up.
yes, I did it, but no.
Well, after Trump was
I
like, "That's the
think
dumbest shit I've ever heard," he came out and was like, "Oh well, maybe I don't know if anyone would actually do it." But like again, how would they deploy a nuclear weapon more than 800 miles away from where they are?
mm,
Hmm.
They just don't have the technology. I mean, granted, they could transport it in like a cargo vessel and set one off in the waters and send a. Especially why I brought up Boston Harbor is because you got Cape Cod there, right?
Yeah.
So it would wash Cape Cod away essentially with the tsunami that came, and that would also send back a lot of the explosive force back inland, washing in, wiping out from Danvers down to shoot, Plymouth, um, inland as far as I don't even know, maybe even Worcester, depending on the size of the ordnance. And yeah, I know, Massachusetts geography a little better than most. Fun fact, by the way, Danvers, Massachusetts is where the actual witch trials happened, not Salem.
mm.
There was, I think, one trial in Salem. And even more fun fact, Salem didn't exist until the settlers, in terms of a landmass, didn't exist until the settlers got there. They filled in the ocean to build a landmass next to Danvers to make Salem.
Mm.
Kind of cool stuff, huh?
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, he's like, yeah, no, I don't think anyone will actually give him a nuke. And here's the thing is, I don't think they would even nuke Israel, honestly. I really don't. I think they would rather have the weapon as a bargaining chip. Like, hey, stay the f out of our affairs. We'll stay the f out of yours. Uh, hmm. Did we even mention? Oh, Brian.
Nope.
No,
I
I know.
know.
I know. I just had him separated because it's. Oh shit.
Hmm.
All right.
When
I
you
don't know.
put them
Does
like
this?
that,
Oh, okay.
usually it's a different category.
I know. I know. But uh, anyway, Iran has ordered the closing of the Strait of Hormuz.
That's not
Uh,
gonna happen.
how,
Well, they aren't going to
mm,
use a naval blockade to do it. They're going to mine the Straits of Hormuz.
yeah.
That's not gonna work because especially with China.
Well, China doesn't need the Strait of Hormuz to get oil from Iran, though. And Trump already went ahead and told China, go ahead and buy oil from them. We don't care. But here's
Mm.
the thing: Strait of Hormuz brings you into the Persian Gulf.
It
Uh,
is.
yeah, 1/5 or 20% of the world's oil comes out of there.
That's okay. We can sell oil to everybody else.
We could, but I like the idea of our strategic petroleum reserve, oil
Mm-hmm.
reserve,
Mm-hmm.
so that when the rest of the world runs out, because we keep being told we're gonna, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we still got it for another 5 years, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
assuming someone like Biden doesn't show up and sell it off again,
Hmm.
or just release it to make gasoline out of it to bring down the gas price because you blew the economy so bad. But yeah, exactly, Brian. More than anything, we're concerned about sea mines being put everywhere.
Well,
And
and crude's already jumped up to up 3.9% from to $80 a barrel.
that was as of a couple of days ago, I believe. I'm not sure.
It was, yeah.
From what I saw today, oil's down below what it was before.
Okay. Because the narrowest point, there's choke points on the Strait of Hormuz. The narrowest point is 20 miles wide. That's it.
Yeah, so you only got to put a handful of mines there.
Yeah.
Now, where are environmentalists that don't want to watch? You don't like seeing the oil taken out of the earth. That's bad enough. Now imagine an oil tanker gets a giant hole blown in the side of it, and all that oil pours out into the ocean.
And they could also try, shore-based missiles too. I mean, the interception by patrol boats and helicopters, that's what they've been doing the last few years. But I don't think that's really been that effective, and definitely not what they want to do now. They want to show a much bigger show of force. If this ceasefire doesn't stick, then I'd be looking for underwater mines and missiles being flown out to the.
Short range
All you got
missiles,
to
yeah.
do is take out a couple tankers, and the world's economy is in the shit.
Oh, people, these ships are already refusing to go in there. Like it's not even worth the risk. It's just absolutely not worth it. And remember, these mines are magnetic. and they are super powerful in terms of magnetism. So you don't even have to hit the mine; it'll get attracted to the hull of your ship. And Brian, you're right. It's going to be mines, not a naval blockade. Because what's going to happen should Iran go out there with their naval blockade?
We're gonna blow them up.
Yes, we're going to blow it up, and we've done this before, you know. It was something like 8 hours. The United States destroyed half of Iran's navy several years ago.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to hear the story about it, go check out the Fat Electrician on YouTube. He's got he tells funny stories, but they're all true. He brings all the numbers and everything. It was something like 8 hours, destroyed half of their navy because they fired on one of our ships. And no, not even that. We went to go take out some oil derricks or something that they had, and one of their ships fired upon us. So just boom, that was the end of that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in response to the United States striking these facilities, Iran claims that they fired as many missiles at the American base in Qatar.
Yes.
Thing is, it was as many as bombs we dropped on one refinery. They
And
fired.
only we intercepted 2 of the missiles. One of them landed in a field, is what I heard.
There's 2. I thought. I thought it was. Yeah, okay, you're right. They fired 3, or was it 6?
I don't know.
Either way,
Nobody was killed or hurt in it. I mean, it's interesting they chose Qatar because Qatar has diplomatic relations with Iran still.
and Qatar immediately told us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we fired down all but one missile, and we saw the other one coming. Like, oh, that's gonna miss by like 20 miles, so we really don't care that much.
I've actually
about it.
been on the base in Qatar.
What? I'm gonna click on it and find out what the name of that place is because I keep forgetting. It's what
I mean, they call it
Monday.
Qatar,
It
they call
was.
it Qatar, you know, the name, depending on who's in office is
Oh
what the
yeah, yeah. I
name of
meant
the
the name of
country
the.
is.
I meant the name of the base. Of course, it's not in here. Whatever. Oh, Al Udeid Air Base. Al Udeid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like apparently it caused like 0 damage. And this, you know, as well as I do, this was to save face with his own people, right?
Yes, it was. I mean, he's hiding in a bunker someplace in Iran right now, so he needed to
Now,
do something to save a little face.
can you guys give me a little insight into Irani political structure? They
It's,
have, they have an Ayatollah
yep.
and a prime minister.
The Ayatollah is the supreme leader of Iran. He's the religious leader. It's run by religion.
It's a theocracy, yes. But so what does the prime minister do?
He does
I
whatever the Ayatollahs tell him to do.
so he's just the guy that actually
He's a
puts his face up there and
figurehead.
gets
Yeah,
he gets blown up instead.
right.
Okay. And I genuinely don't think Trump wants to kill the Ayatollah.
No,
I
he
know.
was offered a plan from Israel, and he turned it down. That's the rumor mill going around.
Yes, I heard that too. But I
Because
think
you don't want to back
push.
you don't want a big back you got for leadership because any other fucking snake gonna jump on it.
Well, yeah, Hamas and ISIS, and I don't know, is the Muslim Brotherhood over there or not? I don't
That
know.
was
I know they're in Egypt.
Syria.
Well, I know they're in Egypt too. But I mean, there's plenty of these organizations they've been funding and arming. They're going to try to take over right away, and all you need is some extremist who believe who would be honored to be destroyed in combat because he'll
Mhm.
get his 72 virgins. Now, here's the thing: no one told these guys, by the way.
They're
These are
trans.
all the what?
The virgins are trans.
Actually, Iran doesn't mind trans. No, check this out, dude. I went and had a look because I want to. I know Iran is not the same as like Afghanistan when it comes to these moral laws things. You know,
Right.
uh, if you are a homosexual in Iran, they will force transition surgery on you so you're not gay.
So that's why there's no gays in Iran.
That's exactly why. Now there's no gays in Afghanistan because they get thrown off of rooftops and hung by helicopters.
Hmm.
And typically you'd use the word hanged, but that's when it's done properly and your neck breaks. These guys would just slowly lift you up and choke you to death. So, great guys there.
Yep.
But no, yeah, if we kill them, then some religious zealot's going to take over. And the thing is with these 72 virgins, they're all like 22-year-old video game guys that weigh 240 pounds. So it's like, yeah, you get 72 fat video gamers that don't go out and meet women. Oh, there we go. The IDF, Israeli Defense Force, right?
Yep.
Killed the commander from Iran that orchestrated with Hamas for the October 7th attack in Israel.
They've been trying to get him for a while now.
Well, they told us he was the target, but Israel went out of control, dude.
They got to, though. I mean, whether we agree with their methods or not, they've been. We've got Iran. We've got all these countries over there that swear. Palestine swears death to Israel, and their whole goal in life is to destroy Israel out of the face of the planet.
Well, I keep hearing from Republicans and Israeli leadership that Israel can handle this alone. They don't need our help. But then they say, hey, can you guys shoot down some of these missiles coming at us? Can you guys drop some bunker busters on their stuff? It's like, well, apparently you can't do it your own. I don't know, man. I think they went kind of nuts in Palestine. I honestly bet if they stopped. The problem is if they stopped fighting the Palestinian Gaza conflict, the problem is there would be peace for probably 5 to 10 years.
That's what's happened in the past. They have
that's
stopped
exactly
short.
It.
They don't want to relive. They don't want to. They're trying to learn from history. Whether we agree with the lengths they're going to, they're trying to do something different.
Let it be their fucking fight then, dude. I'm gonna put them now in the same bag I was putting Ukraine. Fuck it. We're spending too much money in all this shit. And yes, we put way more money in Ukraine in a couple of years than we have to Israel since they've existed. But anyway, Trump negotiated a ceasefire between Iran and Israel.
Yeah, apparently that's doing really well. Both sides have violated it.
Okay. Did you see what Trump had to say about it?
No.
Oh, I wish I had it brought up to play for you. Well, first, Iran fired one rocket at Israel. Israel came back with the largest payload of bombs the world has seen since World War II.
Okay.
Yes, and Trump was pissed. I swear he was more pissed when he addressed the media than he was when he kicked Zelensky out of the Oval Office.
Dang.
Yeah, well, he said these two countries have been fighting each other so long, neither one of them know what the fuck they're doing anymore. And I was like, whoa, Trump dropped an F-bomb. Like, Trump actually dropped the F-bomb.
Yeah.
He specifically, after that one rocket went off, he told Israel, he was like, hey, back off, guys. It was one, it didn't hit anything. They had 12 hours to stop hostilities. Israel waited to the 11th hour of the 12-hour window. And boom. And he said something along the lines of like that one rocket could have been a mistake. It could have the orders could have been given yesterday, and just word hadn't got to the guy by the time he hit the button. Of course, he went on Truth Social to tell Israel not to drop the payload that he knew was in the air because it took him an hour and a half to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
the B-1 bombers take longer than that.
Well, they came from the United States. What was it, a 36-hour flight they took or something like that?
Yeah, they're probably always like communication stuff. They're probably watching YouTube on the way over there too. So what the fuck,
But anyway, Israel has sworn that they won't. That they are done with their hostilities. That window is closed. We're gonna, figure out some way to handle this. Iran didn't respond or retaliate to the massive strike, which is good. And then now he's been nominated for a peace prize over this.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because there's a video of a CNN anchor in want to say Pakistan, maybe Afghanistan, I don't know, somewhere over there. She got the news that Trump had announced the ceasefire, and she's like, "That didn't happen. It's not." She just kept going, or whatever, and then like their top advisors there showed up in person, like, "Yeah, no, this happened. That both countries have agreed to it." And you can see her face just drop and her jaw drop, like, "Oh, dude, if he brings peace to the Middle East again,
Yeah.
then maybe I'm gonna overlook the bombs we dropped as
I
something
mean,
that was necessary to make this
okay,
happen."
it's like one of the motherfuckers just talking all the time. Sometimes they need a little bitch slap to calm him down, you know?
Yeah.
It's just.
What I think more likely than Iran didn't get the word to the guy pushing the button in time, I think was more likely is Iran wanted to get the last word.
They
Like
all
two
like
tough,
they both were like that, like
yeah,
oh
like the tough guys in the bar. It's like, yeah, what are you
yeah
gonna do
yeah.
about it? Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
You're like,
No
hey,
one
calm
wants,
down, and they just fucking slap each other like, oh my god,
yeah, no one wants to walk away.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
But
want to seem like they're less bitch or less, you know.
the bitch.
The bitch, yeah. That's all it was.
All I don't know. I'm glad the conflict has ended. I'm a little concerned about this possible mining of the Strait of Hormuz, but
Yeah.
we'll see where that goes, I guess. We do have ways to take out sea mines as the United States Navy, don't we? Like detect them and do, even detonate them. I think without destroying our own vessels. I'm not sure. I know we used to have the ones for landmines that were like giant, basically giant steamrollers, chains welded to the giant drum that would whip out and smack the mines and set them off.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, well, let's move on to migration, I guess. Unless you guys got anything you want to bring up or discuss at all about what happened over there and what's going on, because that was possibly, as Trump put it, a 12-day war. All right, I'm
Yeah.
guessing nothing is to be said then.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, he was
Well,
nominated for a Peace Prize.
yes, what's the dude's name? He's a Republican congressman, I want to say.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
I have
Representative
a hard
Buddy
time
Carter.
believing he won't get it, even though Obama got one for doing absolutely nothing.
I'm sorry, you were all jarbled there. What did you say?
He won't get it, even though Obama got one for doing absolutely nothing.
Well, that's not true. Obama blew up an American citizen child overseas.
Yeah, but
So
that
I mean,
shouldn't
that's obviously
qualify
why
him
he
for the
got
Nobel
that.
Peace Prize.
Well, apparently it did. Spain, Barcelona in particular, is getting frustrated with all these tourists, and they want them to go home. They're
Did you hear,
escorting these folks with water guns, saying, "You don't belong here. Get out of our country." And I just
did
laughed
you
my butt off at it.
did you just hear about this? This is like since last year.
Well, it's been ongoing.
I guess it's still.
Yeah, it showed up in my news feed.
Oh shit! Yeah, this shit been going on since last year.
Well, I got a good laugh too because I watched one of these man on the street interviews
Mm-hmm.
recently when a guy went to the protests.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's almost all boomers and college kids at these protests.
Yeah, they got nothing else better to do. I don't know how much they're getting paid. To
Ah,
protest.
no, the protesters aren't getting paid. The organizers are. And yeah, but well, the boomers are what drive me nuts because these assholes have been handed their whole fucking life on a silver platter
Mm-hmm.
from the greatest generation.
Mm-hmm.
They never had to deal with shit. All they've done their entire goddamn lives is protest and say how everything's evil and wrong. I mean, these are the same people that were protesting everything in the 70s,
Yeah.
and the 60s. Well, let's take a bunch of acid, smoke a bunch of pot, and go tell the president why he sucks. It's like, get a fucking job, dude. And now the boomers hold something like 80% of the wealth in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, it's all about to disappear because they've been sitting on these fucking houses for so long. I brought this up before. I saw a whole bunch of shit today about the housing market is falling apart because no one's buying houses right now because they're just too damn expensive. Exactly what I said would happen. But anyway, he asked this person protesting ICE.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, should you be able to like just go to like Germany and just like start a job and
No.
just live there and work? Like, well, no, it's their country, it's their culture, it's their rules. You can't just show up and you know and demand something. Well, what if you're not even demanding stuff? What if you just like hardworking, honest person? It's still their country. Because what about the same thing happening here? And they just looked at him like, I don't want to talk to you anymore and walked away. I see so much of that. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you not see that coming when you know what I mean? Texas is giving up on their border wall.
Yeah, because the federal government's taking over and going to build it, so they got
No,
no
they're
reason to pay
It's
for it.
still,
Texas built more border wall than the United States has. But they're saying the federal government looks like they're going to take responsibility, but they were going to do that last time under Trump. And then Biden went and sold off the wall material
Yeah.
for $1 a section.
Yeah. So Trump, nobody could build a wall when he got kicked out of office.
That's just insane. Sorry, these things cost you like 10 grand a piece for these sections of it, and you sell them for $1. It's worth more than $1 in scrap metal. Shit, if I had a giant truck, I would have gone down there and picked up a handful of these things and just scrapped it, or I don't know, sold it as steel, usable steel.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys have any idea what steel is worth?
A lot.
Yeah, shit ain't cheap, especially good steel. But yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen. I'm hoping Trump actually gets on this wall. I haven't heard anything about it, honestly, since Biden sold the pieces of it.
Right.
I want to say it's a meat packing plant that this happened in. But anyway, ICE went in criminal networks. Yeah, meat packing plant in Omaha, Nebraska. ICE went in there and raided
Oh
the
yeah, I
place.
heard about that.
Yeah, for these illegal migrants there. Over 100 people had their identity stolen so these people could be paid, like social security number. And that was something I brought up to that dude Sean when he mentioned that he had 3 of his employees taken away by ICE up in Massachusetts. I was like, well, did you know they were illegal? And he's like, what do you mean? What if I did? And I was like, well, that's against the law to hire illegal immigrants knowingly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, and also I was like, how did you pay them if they didn't have a social security number or a work ID number?
I'm sure they provided something.
No, you were paying them under the table and not paying taxes on it.
That's illegal.
Yeah, I was like, that's against the law too. Like, you might want to. I was like, you might want to stop saying stuff like this because it's out there for everyone to see. Within an hour, he took that post down. But yeah, they stole over 100 identities.
Oh, damn.
Can
they steal mine and pay taxes for me? That's all I care.
Well, see, they wouldn't pay the tax for you. Instead, they would take out debt in your name that you would have to pay back.
Yeah.
But these are like most of these people are like disabled and aren't working, so there's no like double paycheck coming in. Disabled, infirmed, elderly, etc., etc. And infants. So just honest, hardworking people, right? Stealing identity. And I know we talked about this before, but did we bring up last episode, Brian, the Tyson chicken plant that was raided on Trump's first term?
Mississippi?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. It might have been Mississippi. You're right.
Yeah.
And like 300 illegals were taken out. And CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, all of them came out like, oh, these are jobs Americans don't want to do, and now the cost of chicken's gonna go through the roof because no one's doing it anymore. The next day, there were 600 people, Americans in line applying for jobs. So you don't want to do the job because it's below you.
Yeah.
But let's
No, there's
Brian,
some Americans that want to do it, but as long as they pay fucking minimum wage.
well, that's the thing. That's exactly where I was going to go with this, Guapo.
Mhm.
If McDonald's called you as soon as we stopped recording and offered you a job as a cashier,
Mhm.
what would you say? What's the first thing
Depends.
you'd say to them?
Depends on location. How much?
Hey, you're right. If you're going to pay me minimum wage to work the register, no, I'm doing better. I'm doing better without a real job right now.
Yeah.
All right. But if you're going to offer me $150,000 a year to run a register, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is now Tyson, when this happened, was like, shit, we need employees. So you have to pay them the amount of money they find acceptable, or else they walk away and no one's processing your chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the argument I kept bringing up when it comes to left wing wants to increase minimum wage.
No, the people gonna do whatever what is worth.
Well, you can increase minimum wage, that's fine, but that just means the cost of goods is going to go up.
Mhm.
And here's the best part: is this is the same argument the left is bringing up now? These illegal migrants, like, well, the cost of goods is going to go up because we have to pay people more. It's like, so do you want a living wage or not? Like, are you genuinely saying we need slave labor to make things affordable for your white collar job? I don't
Mhm.
know. Maybe you don't need, like Trump said, maybe you don't need $10. Maybe you only need one.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. So these left wing activists, you know how
Yep.
much digging and reading they do before they act, right?
None.
Yeah. They helped a child rapist escape ICE.
They
So
don't care.
I bet you a handful.
Hopefully they get prosecuted for
Yeah, for
aiding and abetting a
a
child
fugitive.
rapist. Yeah.
Yeah. And impeding an investigation and hit them everything they can, right?
Yeah.
Put these guys in prison, just like those judges that helped these folks escape. They're both facing actual charges now, which is awesome. And hey, if they get acquitted, they get acquitted. I'll probably be disappointed, and I'm going to blame the system of where they are. But if they're being tried in federal court, you could move them to halfway across the country for a quote fair trial. You know.
Yeah.
All right, who's that? What's this asshole's name? Hakeem Jeffries.
Minority house leader.
Yes, I can never remember his name. I always think Hassan Piker with Hakeem Jeffries.
He said there were no riots in LA.
No, there's unrest, but no riots. I'm like, I don't know, man. If January 6th was a riot, when
Yeah.
people walked through open doors,
Uh-huh.
and there was a little bit of violence, don't get me wrong. I mean, people were breaking windows.
But there's a lot more violence happening in LA. They looted a auto zone.
Yeah, yeah. They did like 100 people looted an auto zone, and it's like, what, you really needed brake fluid that bad? Because they're just doing this to feed their families. So
They were
go ahead and feed
they
your
were going for the catalytic converters.
catalytic converters.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, hey guys, I gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I was just gonna make a joke about how they should,
No,
if they're just
no,
feeding the
you're
family, they
fine.
should go ahead and drink the
Brake
coolant.
fluid.
Yeah, I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, so I'm about to
So
go.
have
Sleep.
I.
All right. Well, I gotta go. Well, whatever. Anyways, talk to you guys later.
Later.
Later, guys.
Deuces, bro.
All right.
But yeah, he's calling it unrest, and they're blaming. They're trying to blame Trump for any of the violence that's happening,
Yeah.
and that just makes me laugh. It's like, I don't like what he did, so I'm going to light something on fire or I'm going to blow something up. Like that makes it acceptable, because if that's the case, we'd see a lot more violence in the streets, wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm. You think so?
All right, I gotta relieve myself, Brian.
All right.
Supreme Court came back with what 8 out of 10 things good for Trump, but of course the news media is only talking about the 2 that didn't help Trump.
Yeah, and this judge is already trying to overrule the Supreme Court. So, um, basically, this division, they're on the Supreme Court, blocks the trial court order while litigation continues over efforts to deport people to so-called third countries. So, in theory, Trump should be able to deport. But it didn't take long before um, a judge has temporarily blocked an effort to where is it here now? Yeah, just because the Supreme Court says it doesn't make it so. The lower courts are looking for ways to get around the order, and a judge has temporarily blocked Trump's effort to deny visas to Harvard students. He's
Yeah, I
trying
thought the
to,
Supreme Court already ruled in on that.
yeah. Well, this judge he temporarily blocked it.
How? And you know what? A judge that was appointed under Biden did something similar. But actually, it might be the same story. Let me click here and give it a quick refresher. Supreme Court allowed Trump administration earlier on Monday to move forward with quickly deporting illegal immigrants. I'm sorry, migrants to countries not. Oh, okay, you could deport them to a third nation if necessary.
Right.
Like if Venezuela refuses to take these folks, you can send them somewhere else. Now, one news article I saw mentioned, even the war-torn South Sudan.
Well, that'd be a good place for him.
Well, hey, that's a good deterrent. It's like don't even bother. We'll send you to Sudan in the middle of a war zone. But Sudan's probably one of the handful of countries that, yeah, we'll take them. You know.
Oh
By the
yeah,
way,
here's the other article I was thinking about where this Biden appointed judge appears to skirt
yeah,
SCOTUS in the
that's
room.
what I was just. That's the one I just mentioned
Yeah.
with the third country thing. SCOTUS specifically came out and said he could do this, and this judge, lower court judge, is like, no, you can't. It's like, who the fuck are you? How do you handle this? Do you
I
just
think he's gonna get a smackdown from the Supreme Court.
You already did. You already did. So I mean, like, do you arrest the judge for this? I don't know. Is that something that happens? Do you disbar them? Would you just ignore his decision?
I would ignore his decision.
Oh, I mean, that's what Trump. That's what Biden did with
Yeah, he did
Supreme
with the
Court.
Supreme Court.
Yeah, twice the Supreme Court told him he's not allowed to forgive student debt, and he's like, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. It's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Other news concerning the court system, the Ninth Circuit Court has told California they are not allowed to limit firearm purchases to one a month. That is absolutely unconstitutional.
So now they got to come up with new rules.
Yeah, a new way around it because that's what they're gonna do, right?
Yep.
Just wait until they say, well, it's not a firearm, it's a whatever. It's like it doesn't matter. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. According to that language, to me, you could have a nuclear weapon. I don't see any way around it, honestly, especially because the United States doesn't build their own nuclear weapons. Civilian companies do. And
Right.
civilian companies sit on them until the government buys them. Is that illegal?
No.
Obviously not, because that's what we're doing. And it's fascinating listening to these folks say stuff like, oh, here comes the Civil War. It's like, there's no weapons allowed in your state, or they're trying to make it so you're not even allowed to carry a knife, let alone a gun. How do you think this is going to turn out? And yeah, I know it's not going to be civilian versus civilian necessarily, but shit. When Massachusetts goes ahead and outlaws guns altogether, oh man, I'm gonna head up there and get me a whole bunch of free shit. Because what is anyone gonna do to stop me? You know?
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I got my knife. It's like, you brought a knife to a gunfight? You're an idiot. Oh, this one got me good. Neera Tanden was one of Biden's top aides.
Okay.
Trump said, you don't have executive privilege that Biden had. You don't get to just say, you can't question me concerning Joe's mental acuity and
Right.
the auto pen thing. And
Good.
a lot of Dems like, you can't do that. Oh, they obviously have the same privilege. It's like, you put Steve Bannon in prison for it.
Yeah. Yeah. You throw that. You threw that bus out of the water. Along back in the day. So yeah.
Yeah, this is what I keep bringing up to it. I was like, just wait until there's a Democrat in office and a whole bunch of judges just step like, nope, nope, nope. And you guys say, well, you can't just do that. I'm like, precedent's been set. You guys showed us you could. Problem is, the Republicans have no fucking spines. MAGA
Yeah. And
does.
she was told she was authorized to use the auto pen.
Yeah. Okay. She said she was authorized to use the auto pen. Now, it's one thing if the president is sitting next to you and says, go ahead and sign it.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the. She said she, quote, was responsible for handling the flow of documents to and from the president, close quote, and was authorized to direct auto pen use from October 21 to May 23. Authorized to direct auto pen use. And she handled the documents coming and going. It doesn't say she got to decide. Well, actually, it says she got to decide. She was authorized to direct auto pen use, right? That means the president didn't necessarily have anything to do with that. If she's telling someone else to do it,
Right.
especially Joe didn't know where he was. He would have
No.
forgotten it within 20 minutes.
I mean, how many times has Joe been in public since January 20th? Like 2, 3?
Yeah, and they were all to talk shit about Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, you already got the new Google Doc set up, huh?
I got the date wrong. I got the wrong year. It's not 289, is it? No, it is 290. Yeah, I had it right. Oh, apparently I didn't share it in Google Docs. 289.
That's fine. You still should be able to click file open.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what he had
I
so
don't
much
know what he's
trouble
having
with.
problem with. Yeah,
That's how I do it every time anyway. Because I leave
yeah,
289. I'll leave this one here when we're done, and when I come to do the next one, I just open the next one.
yeah.
The Dems are though, they are as much trash as we heard about Trump.
Uh-huh.
The Dems are in some serious trouble here, man. Quinnipiac University published a poll this month, a 21% approval rating for Dems in Congress, the lowest since 2009, and a CNN/SSRS. I'm not sure who SSRS is. Poll found the party's favorability is 29%, the lowest since 92. Well, I mean, they're putting AOC up as like,
Possible candidate for president.
yeah, it's their girl.
Bad idea.
Yeah, we're hearing about how much everyone hates Trump. Realistically, it depends on which polls you look at. And the thing is, you hear these folks, oh, it's a 7-point drop for Trump. Yeah, but you went and found the poll that had a 7-point drop when Rasmussen had him up 5.
Mhm.
You know, you have to look at the same polling company as an aggregate over time to see where it actually is, because they all disagree with each other. I'm sure you've noticed that.
Yeah.
And that he lost some support over this bombing thing until the ceasefire happened.
Right.
So we talked about this. What they call it? Project something, when they were trying to figure out how to talk to men and white people and white men in particular.
Right.
I can't remember what it's called. $20 million they put into this. Well, the Democratic Party now has a YouTube channel. The Democrats' Daily Blueprint, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah, their debut got 9,000 views.
That's it.
Now, that's more than we get. That's for damn Skippy.
Not by much.
8,000.
Trump's War Room gets 83,000 views.
Yeah. Well, this is a single tweet from Trump War Room. A single
Okay.
tweet got 83,000 views as of Tuesday, which was more than the 21,000 that the Democrat Blueprint has got.
On 12 episodes, yeah.
12 episodes combined. No one gives a shit what these folks have to say anymore. So when you say everyone agrees, no, they fucking don't, dude. For the most part, most folks that disagree don't want to put in the effort, the little tiny bit of effort that you and I are putting in to do this because it's not worth their damn time.
Right. I mean, a lot of people are pissed off that they removed David Hogg too in the party because he was trying to revive the party's support among young and male voters. But
Yeah, but he was making it more radical. That's for damn Skippy. At least he was trying to. Yeah, people just don't give a shit what the Democrat Party is doing anymore because what have they done? What is their policy? What is their platform right now besides Orange Man Bad?
anti-Trump, yeah.
Well, you already lost that election. I mean, you couldn't even have a primary process because you guys didn't know what was going to happen. And then it's funny listening to these folks now. Like people voted for Kamala. It's like, well, not in the primaries. Like, yeah, they did. No, there was no fucking primary.
She was out before the primaries happened. She dropped before the first primary vote. So I think she was
Well,
around for the Iowa caucuses, and when she didn't do that well there, she was long gone.
that was the first time around.
Yeah.
Right. The second time around, they didn't even do a primary, right?
No, they did one, but her
Right,
name
right.
wasn't on it because Biden was running, so she was still running on his ticket.
Exactly. Then they just handed her the nomination. And these folks are like, oh, they did too. It's like, no, no. This wasn't even that long ago, guys.
No, this was less than a year ago.
Yeah. And again, the memory of a goldfish thing. Now,
Hmm.
do these folks genuinely not remember or are they liars?
I
Is
think they're
this,
liars.
I think so too. And the problem is, don't, it's obvious to everyone that you're lying at this point because anyone who's paid attention at all not only knows this, but can show it to you.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, here it is. She just got handed the nomination because Joe dropped out after the primaries ended.
Yeah, because they wanted to make sure that money that he had built up in the election campaign fund could be automatically transferred to her. She was like she was the only candidate that could get the whole war chest and be able to use it in the
Which was very
campaign.
controversial.
Yeah.
People were wondering if that was legal. I believe what's his name there, the actor. Oh, the one from NYPD Blue. Not NYPD Blue. ER.
I have no idea. I watched the in a long time.
I've never watched it, but I still know that's where his career started. Oh my god.
Jonathan Wiley
No, no,
from the Librarians.
no. Son of a bitch. I can see the guy's face too. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He came out and said something like, "This seems like we just got ripped off. This isn't who we donated money to."
Hmm.
You know, as soon as we stop recording, I'm gonna remember the guy's name too. Holy shit! Have you been following the New York race for mayor, New
A
York
little
City?
bit. Yeah, a little bit.
You seen this? I'm not gonna call him a
Yeah.
communist, but they're gonna say he's a socialist. This guy's probably gonna beat Cuomo. Now, technically speaking, Cuomo's in the lead, but New York City uses a ranked choice voting system. So if he doesn't get 50% or more, it's going to
Hmm.
go to ranked choice.
Great choice is stupid.
Yes, because that means someone that no one actually voted for is probably going to end up winning unless it's a majority vote.
Maybe it'll be the Republican that's running.
Maybe. Well, this
He's
face off.
the Republican that's running is the guy in charge of the motorcycle group up there that protects people.
Hell's Angels,
Guardian Angels.
the Guardians, aren't they? I thought they were the New York City subway guys or whatever.
Yeah, those people. Yeah, the guy that started that up, he's running for mayor.
Yeah, the Red Beret guys, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
Wow, Republican. Interesting.
Curtis Silva. That's his name. Curtis Silva.
Well, and see, that'll be in the general election. this is going to happen in the primary.
Oh, yeah,
Cuomo's
you're right, yeah.
probably going to lose to this guy. Can't remember his name. He's a Muslim socialist.
What in the hell is that? Muslim
right.
socialist.
Zoran Mamdani.
From
this
Queens.
guy,
Oh, look, he was endorsed by AOC, Big Sprite, and
Mhm.
Bernie Sanders.
and Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's the problem with this guy. I say the problem. He's got a lot of problems. One of them that really bothers me that Democrats do a lot is this code switching. He uses a different accent depending on who he's speaking to.
Oh my word, like Hillary does.
Like Hillary, I don't feel no ways tired by now. But this guy got called out because he was like, oh no, I get people don't trust politicians. Politicians historically just aren't trustworthy. They're as bad as lawyers. And then the interview he was doing, the woman asking him was like, well, what about you changing your accent to everyone you speak to? Which one's real? Which ones are fake? And he's like, well, I was born in, can't remember where he said. And then he's like, then I lived in Pakistan for a while. Then I moved to the United States. He's like, so your accent just randomly changes?
Right.
Like, I relax and I have a couple beers.
Yep. Then
That
you have an
Boston
accent.
accent starts to come back out, right?
Yep.
That's how you can tell how many I've had.
Mm-hmm.
Once them eyes start disappearing.
Yep. You got a parked car.
Yeah, you got parked car in Harvard Yard. And what's the difference between your khakis and your khakis?
A lot.
Yeah. Your khakis will start your car. Your khakis you wear in your butt.
Yep.
But yeah, this guy, he's talking about government grocery stores.
What? Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
a good idea.
Yes. And he wants to make.
Is it going to look like the grocery stores in Moscow where there's nothing on the shelves back in the day?
Yeah. Well, no, probably more like a Potemkin village in North Korea where there's just pictures of food on the shelf.
I remember those. That was awesome. That was only there for the reporters,
Yes. But he wants to make the transit system free in New York City as well.
Who's going to pay for that?
The taxpayers, obviously. I will. Oh, by the way, this guy was a rapper before he ran for office.
No wonder AOC likes him.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his work, but hey, I'm not huge into rap. It's got to be really good for me to get into rap,
Mm-hmm.
Little side story, not even before we go on here. North Korea made me think of it. You ever had Korean barbecue?
Yeah.
Okay, it's good, right? They kebab meat and vegetables right in front of you, and either you get to cook it or they'll cook it for you.
Yeah.
I think we should get together and do like a Dick's Last Resort thing. You remember them? They're the ones that waiters are rude to you.
Yeah, they have one in Gaithersburg.
We should do one that's North Korean barbecue. All right.
North Korean barbecue.
You get half portions of food, right? There's pictures of Kim Jong-un on the wall, but the eyes follow you when you move around. Anything you don't eat gets fed to one giant fat Korean guy. It sits in the corner, and it's impossible to leave.
That's fun.
Oh! I want bread lines too. Literal bread lines. I bet you people would go there. You would too. You would laugh your ass off. Like, I got ripped off, but it was fun.
Yep.
Well, moving into leftovers here, Brian.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. We're coming up in 2 hours. We actually managed to draw this out. Didn't think we were going to be able to, honestly. So Diddy, the Diddler Diddy, Sean Combs.
The Diddler Diddley defense.
Yes. Well, check this out. Prosecution rested their case today, right?
Yeah.
So then the defense got to come up and give their case.
Yeah.
Prosecution took 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Was it something like that?
Uh-huh.
Defense took 20 minutes.
So apparently the defense thinks that the prosecution didn't prove their case.
Either they think they didn't prove their case or they had
looking for
no
a
defense
mistrial?
to give. Or they said nothing to give. Like, oh, whoops. Shit. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know what happened over there. I mean, I wasn't cool enough to get diddled by Michael Jackson or Diddy.
You were invited to the after parties.
Exactly. What they call them, freak offs?
Yeah, the freak offs.
The, the sheer fact that he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil in his house at a time makes me think something crazy was going on there. And don't get me wrong, women in bathing suits wrestling each other is not illegal. Okay. But if that's like something you're doing in your house, what the fuck else is happening in your house?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Uh, I don't dislike his work. Not a huge fan of it just because I'm not, like I said, I'm not into rap.
Yeah.
But shit, what's the one? I'm coming out. Oh shit. The more money we come across, the more problems we see. It was a cover of someone else's song. That was a good cover. He did a decent cover of Every Breath You Take, and
Uh,
Sting actually performed on it. I was like, all right, that's not terrible, you know?
yeah.
But yeah, 20 minutes of defense, exactly. Either they think those prosecution didn't make their case, or they're thinking, we got nothing to defend against this,
Right.
you know? Uh, do you give a shit about the C-SPAN caller ripping Tapper a new one about his Biden book?
No.
I don't really either. Uh, the media has come out. Okay, so another one of these Supreme Court rulings I had mentioned. There were 10 that came out like at the same time, basically.
Yeah. Oh, the Tennessee ruling. Yeah. They
Well,
talked about this on the where that was the Tennessee courts that put this ruling in place where minors aren't allowed to do transgender surgeries.
yes, and the Supreme Court upheld it.
Yes.
Now, I didn't read the ruling. uh, this could easily go nationwide, though, depending on how they worded their decision.
I don't think they worded it that way.
Yeah, probably not, because
Because
typically
they're
they try to
saying,
keep it.
well, people are saying, well, they can go to different states and get it done still if their parents let them. The problem is there's a few states out there that got a ban on the hormones. You can't get
Oh,
the hormones in Texas. If you go to another state to get your surgery, you can't keep getting the hormone things you need.
when you move back to Texas,
Yes, exactly.
so you'd have to leave the state altogether.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. No, I guess that makes sense. No, see, that's okay. I understand. It depends on why you would need the hormones, though.
right.
Okay.
Because they were saying Tennessee was saying, you know, this isn't a doctor's decision here, because you know there's usually underlying mental issues that go along with transgender.
Well, that's actually something that the transgender community wants to remain in the DSM 5.
Five, yeah,
Because if it's not in there, it's not a disorder, then your insurance doesn't have to cover your hormones to keep you trans.
right,
So you have to keep it as a mental disorder. And
okay,
you point this out to people, and not Claire, because Claire is very clear on what's going on. Claire's like, I'm an
yeah,
adult, I made a decision.
yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I had no issue with that whatsoever. I'm talking about minors here.
Children, yes.
Yes,
But yeah, if it wasn't a mental disorder, they wouldn't get help because no, you're fine. This is normal, right?
right,
And this is what gets me too, is like we don't let kids buy booze. We
right.
don't let kids buy cigarettes. We don't let kids
Oh, you can't be
vote.
21 to buy cigarettes nowadays.
Hmm. And they're saying because your brain doesn't stop developing until you're 25, actually. It's like, so why are you gonna sterilize your 15-year-old?
Exactly.
Sheesh. And it's I don't think we've ever mentioned it, but it turns out most people that think they're trans as children
Hmm.
desist. Like they go through puberty proper, in its entirety, and also they feel
Right.
like they really are. So by transing them, you're putting them in the suicide category
Yeah.
by being in the wrong body.
Right.
And just one more thing on the mental illness on this. You don't find a 16-year-old girl suffering from anorexia and give her a belly band surgery, do you? Or a gastric bypass?
No.
No, because it's not helpful. You
Right.
don't you don't cut someone's left hand off because it feels alien to their body because it's not good for you to do this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sonny Austin almost died live on air.
I thought it was her aide, not her.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I thought it was her. My mistake. Well, I don't care that much. Allergic reaction, walnut. I don't wish anyone death, honestly. Maybe prison time, but
Mm-hmm.
you can say all the horrible things you want. I'm not going to even wish prison on you. Just shut the fuck up, right? Now, here's the thing that I having a little clump. I was tempted to make a group out of, but I couldn't find enough stuff to make a category. These militants, I want to say Libya, but it's going to end up being Syria
Okay.
just because Nigeria. She's not even close. They were shouting Allahu Akbar, and they killed 200 Christians, and then locked the doors to the church and burned the church down. Many of them burned alive.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Nigerian authorities are very upset with this. So it's not like Nigeria is supporting this kind of stuff. Whereas
Yeah, but they're not
Afghanistan,
going to do much to do anything with it. They're
they
kind
probably
of
don't have the resources, honestly. But it's just 200 killed for worshiping God.
that's crazy.
And,
I got
and
one
I-
other topic I want to bring up. What's not in the category? It just popped in my head.
all right, all right, okay.
The congresswoman from the Gang of Five that lives in Minnesota.
Is that
Yes,
daughter married her brother?
yes. She
Why can't
recently
I come
came out and said that
worst country in the world or something like that?
yeah, America's the worst country in the world. She's originally born in Somalia. I propose she go ahead and move back to Somalia.
Well, if it's the worst country in the world, or she said quickly becoming, yeah, then why don't you go
Just go back
literally
home.
anywhere else?
Because Somalia is worse than America. I don't care what anybody says by any standard.
Oh, something I wanted to mention about Sudan earlier that I had forgotten. Sudan has the lowest per capita income on the planet.
Wow.
Guess how much money your average Sudanese person makes a year?
$50.
Now, more than $50. I wish we had Guapo here and 3 other people to do like a Price Right thing.
Yeah.
$330 a year.
Dang. I hope the price of everything's that low.
Well, mostly dirt roads. It looks like a shanty town. I actually looked at it on Google Earth or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The houses look like a strong wind might blow most of them over, and they're all like on top of each other. And it's funny because I saw this one green spot, and I was like, what's going on here? Maybe it's some kind of oasis. And I zoomed in. USAID. There's a USAID building there, and they managed to put in irrigation and all this stuff. This nice looking buildings that would be modern in the United States. They got paved roads, driveways. I was like, oh.
But they're not doing anything to help the people other than throw them some MREs every once in a while.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Anyway, I'm gonna get back on this bad things happening overseas, hurting people.
Okay.
Okay, so this one was Syria. At least 22 people were killed and 63 others were injured after a suicide bomber opened fire before detonating an explosive vest inside a Greek Orthodox church in Syria on Sunday, June 22nd. What's the matter with people, dude?
Makes no sense.
It's crazy. And this other one here, there's fucking video of it. The 18-month-old
Uh-huh.
was there, just got off a plane in Moscow, right? Arrivals
Right.
in Moscow. The mother was getting the stroller ready to put her and pregnant mother. The fuck, Google's trying to sell me stuff. Son of a bitch! I hate
Don't
when
buy
they do
it.
that. I know they want me to answer a bunch of questions. Like, who will give you this shit? I don't care. I want to read this damn article, right? Yeah, of course not. Now it's gonna see. This is how you know you got shitty friggin'. This is from Daily Mail too.
You got to get your subscription to Daily Mail.
Apparently. uh, anyway, this guy walks up to the 18-month-old, toddling around as a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
Looked around. You can see him on the video. Looks around like, huh? Does anyone see me? Picked this 18-month-old baby boy and chucked him headfirst into the tile floor of the airport. Kid's got a fractured skull, spinal injuries, and is in a coma, clinging to life right now.
And the guy got away with it.
Well, that's actually an excellent question. The Russian official called this guy a monster. Man came and running up and scooped up the boy. The police are trying to find out if this is racist or what other motivation there might have been.
Doesn't matter what the motivation was. Arrest the motherfucker.
Wow, hold on. His family fled Iran because of the conflict there and went through Afghanistan to get to Russia, or to get on a plane to Russia. So, like, hold on, you're supposed to help all these people, right?
Yeah.
The suspect flown to Moscow from Cyprus or Egypt, they're saying, they're not sure. He was rapidly taken into custody after the incident amid suspicions he was under the influence of drugs. National Region Children's Ombudsman Kenzie Mishinova said a drug-addled monster grabbed a toddler in the arrival hall and threw him on the floor with all his might. All this is incredibly difficult to bear. I'm not a huge fan of Russia, but I got a feeling Russia's not going to accept this.
Yeah.
Even if this wasn't a Russian national that was possibly killed, we'll find out, I guess.
Right.
Probably never going to hear about this again, honestly.
Probably not.
But that's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, why are you fucking with kids, man? Anyway, anything else on that list you want to talk about?
No.
All right.
I just want to talk about the Babylon Bee.
Well, yeah, go ahead. And remember, you shared it, and I was like, Brian does know this is the Babylon Bee, and this is a joke, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah, the Babylon Bee put an article out that said that San Francisco protester spelled out "no king" with sidewalk poop. I love it.
Yeah. Picked up all the shit from the homeless in San Francisco. Hey, by the way, if you're shitting on the side of the road, it's probably your governor, not the president's fault, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I hope he realizes that
Yes,
doesn't think this actually
of course
happened.
I did. I just had to share because I got a chuckle.
Oh. Well, it's funny. I saw the No Kings and I read the, they spelled it out, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, Babylon B, thank God.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been a good one, man.
Yeah.
We managed to draw that out into a full episode. Oh, I think that's about it, bud.
All right. We're out of here.